Greetings everyone, Brett here with Hammerhead Model Making, back with another 5-minute review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Takom 1/35 scale Vk.100.01 Mammut. This is a 2-in-1 kit, and this kit was, at least the review sample here, was kindly provided by MRS Hobby Shop. Check them out at mrshobby.com. Jumping into the kit, this is, for its size, this is actually a relatively simple kit. And it's one of those like paper panzers, paper tiger type vehicles, you know, it only existed in drawings. And it definitely has vibes of like Mouse with a little bit of Tiger 2 in there. It is a 2-in-1 kit, so there are two slightly different options for gun barrel length and the engine deck. But as you can see, one piece lower hull, pretty simple upper hull, side skirts. The kit's overall, the detail that is there is nice and crisp. There's not a ton of detail, you know, probably virtue of being a essentially non-existent vehicle. You do get some rather nice cast texture on the gun mantlets. There are two different versions of the gun mantlet for the two different barrels, and that looks really nice. The rest of it is all pretty smooth, featureless plastic. The kit, or the turret, does utilize some slide molding, which is quite nice. You have kind of an almost one-piece upper turret. You do get you know, full wraparound, but there's any sort of interior whatsoever, which is interesting because you do have the ability to pose some of the turret hatches open, but there's really no point unless you have a figure in there. You do get two sets of sprues of road wheels, lots and lots of road wheel parts here, plus drive sprockets and return wheels, or sorry, idler wheels. A lot of parts here. Pretty much the bulk of the kit in terms of part count is built up in the road wheels and suspension. You do get to kind of this bogie suspension system so there's 4 road wheels per bogie, 3 bogies per side, and you get some like rubber band style tracks here. So I believe this is like a vinyl material. I'm not 100% sure, but the detail on that's not terrible, and I didn't really notice any type of like ejector pin mark or anything on the inside of the track, so it's nice. They do have solid guide horns. I don't know if that's true to what could have possibly been real, but it is what it is. You get a small photo etch for grills over the engine deck. For both versions, you get some polycaps for the road wheels, which are pretty standard. You do get one turned aluminum barrel for the longer variant of the barrel. You don't get a shorter version in aluminum, but I mean, it looks nice. Not hollowed very deeply. You do get some of these metal pins, not 100% sure what those are for, and a rather simple set of markings for unit markings, hull numbers, kill marks, national markings, things like that. Pretty straightforward. So jumping into the instructions, we get kind of our parts breakdown. And we start with the lower hull. As you'd expect, you build up the different road wheels and the bogies, get those all assembled, get the side skirts on. It's interesting that you put the side skirts on before the upper hull, but so the pins there are for the tracks to link those together. That's actually kind of nice. You don't have to worry about gluing them together. Upper hull going on, and then you have your 2 different options for the engine deck. So you'll have to decide which one you want to use. And then going on to the next step here, we have our turret assembly. So you have 2 different options for the gun mantlet, and which would correspond to the different barrel types. I don't know that it specifically says which color variants they had which options. So I assume you're kind of left to your own devices there. Again, being a you know, essentially not real vehicle, you can kind of pick and choose, but it does have some rather interesting color schemes in there. So yeah, thanks to MRS for allowing us to take a look at this kit. If you're interested in this kit and thousands of others just like it, head on over to mrshobby.com, check them out. And finally, a huge shout out to my patrons for all of their support and helping me bring content like this to you. We'll see all of you on the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye.